open your hearts, open your spirits to what you're going to hear today. Grab on to at least one idea, because if we don't start spreading the ideas, who's going to?
Ladies, have you ever felt that your voice was on mute? When I was 32, I walked into a room that was full of men sitting in chairs, all dressed in dark, brown, boring suits. I could hear their quiet conversations, which told me I wasn't supposed to hear what they were saying. It was polite tolerance at best. At the same time, I was really proud to be there. I worked really hard for that seat. And I also knew what they were thinking. They did not see a leader. They saw a decoration. Some looked at me like a dessert, not a decision maker, a part of a trend giving voice to women. But that day, the stakes couldn't have been any higher. We were negotiating national minimum wage. Every mother, every business owner, every mechanic would feel the repercussions of our decisions. Millions of lives depended on us. At that time, I was serving at an advisory board for the Polish president. I was negotiating national labor laws at the Tripartite Commission. I was teaching at a top Polish university. I was running my own business. I had it all, right? Invited to national media. Everybody loved me. I won in life, didn't I, right? Right. See, but what no one saw was when I would go home, I would crawl back into bed where my 2 daughters have fallen asleep waiting for me. Or I would take long showers, crying my eyes out. Tears fell silently. After all, I wanted this, didn't I? Nobody's gonna help you if you don't help yourself. You gotta be strong, right? These thoughts, mixed with shallow breathing, would put me to sleep every night. I felt completely disconnected, just going through the motions, surrounded by respected leaders that led with force and dominance. Out of curiosity, have any of you ever felt that disconnect? My name is Dominika Staniewicz, and I'm an elite brain coach specializing in brain health, peak performance, and neuron coding. And through the years of my work, I have found one thing to be true. Female brains are built for leadership, not superior, but built in ways our world desperately needs. I want to bring to you 2 landmark studies. And before I get there, I want you to think, what if, just what if, neuroscience shows that female brains are wired from birth with advantages that can make them phenomenal leaders? I started doing my research talk on TEDx website. Out of 233,045 ideas worth spreading in English, there were only 16. I repeat, 16 talks with the female leadership in the title. That is 0.007%. And yes, some talks did include female leadership, yet only 16 made that their primary focus. Mine is number 17. So when we think about leadership, we think about charisma, education, experience. What we forget is this: the primary driver of every thought, every decision, every skill, every relationship is your brain. So now let's go back to those studies. The first, the global meta-analysis on brain structure from 2016. Scientists took fMRIs and DTIs and they looked at brain structures, and what they found was fascinating. Female brains had more gray matter volume relative to brain size. So you're like, huh? What is she talking about? Well, let me explain. This is the tissue responsible for thinking, processing, and decision making. So picture this. You're in a boardroom and departments are presenting conflicting ideas. The gray matter advantage allows you to hold in your mind at the same time long-term effects, data, morale, and keep asking clarifying questions and listen attentively to every person. I call this thoughtful leadership. And this doesn't show up only at work. Anybody knows anyone that you would say, oh my God, you always think of everything? That's the gray matter advantage. And then they found that females have more white matter volume. It's like, what is she talking about? Okay, so bear with me. It is like the superhighway of the brain. It is like the fiber optic internet that connects different regions of the brain so information flows smoothly and efficiently. Imagine you're running a project and it's going down the drain. Finances are saying you're spending too much, rightfully so. Marketing is screaming, we must act now. And then engineers, they're trying to fix the glitches. The white matter allows you to integrate all of that information and say, if engineers get extra 24 hours, finances can reallocate here, and then marketing can frame this as a system upgrade. Boom, that's leadership advantage. Now, it is also the white matter responsible for amazing multitasking, smooth multitasking. Take a look. I'm a woman, right? Smooth multitasking. Cooking, holding a child, talking on the phone. But be warned, multitasking actually lowers your productivity. And then in the same study, they also found 3 other things that shine brighter in female brains. First is the parahippocampi gyri. Weird word, right? Well, it is your brain's pattern radar. It spots trends and connections. That is why women anticipate problems before they happen. You call this your intuition or your gut feeling. Number 2, the anterior cingulate cortex, the diplomat. It is your brain's conflict radar. It detects tensions, weighs options, and helps women de-escalate issues before they blow up. It is like a gear shifter. Without it, we'd be rigid, stuck, and unable to move forward. And last but not least is the corpus callosum. It is your brain's bridge between 2 hemispheres, and it allows for complex task solving using intuition and knowledge. Now, study number 2 came from Dr. Daniel Amen, and it's even more fascinating. See, they found, and they did this study on functional blood flow. You're like, oh my God, what is she talking about? Okay, so simplify it. Functional blood flow is like the fuel for the brain. To make it even simpler, no fuel, no function. Dr. Amen, after the studies in 2016, said, women's brains are wildly different from men. So what did they find? Well, they found that women have higher activity in the prefrontal cortex. That is the part of your brain that we call the CEO. It is responsible for processing, thinking, emotional control, forecasting the future. It is your brain's system that says, let's think this through before acting. It saves you a lot of trouble. They also found that women had higher activity in the limbic system. And yes, I know it does get the bad rap because it's the emotional center. Yet, that part of your brain is responsible for authentic connection, trust, and empathy. And time again, all over the world, studies have found that we follow leaders that what? We trust and connect with, don't we? Now, you might be wondering, how does that translate to anything in real life besides those examples? Well, let me tell you. SPF Global Market Intelligence has done plenty of studies. And in 2019, they came out with two very important ones, where female brains translate to profits. They found that female CEOs delivered 20% stock price momentum increase within 24 months in comparison to their counterparts. Female CFOs delivered 6% profitability that resulted in ready for this? $1.8 trillion in excess. And on top of that, SP 500 in 2021 showed that if boards had 30% or more women, they exceeded all other boards in 11 out of 15 sectors. And this isn't just the US, it is Africa, South America, Europe. Studies have shown beyond doubt that female brains deliver outstanding leadership results that are measurable. Now, I was surrounded in my life with leaders wired for power and hierarchy. But one thing I knew for sure, there was something missing from the book of leadership and management. And it still is. It's the feminine leadership styles. And it is also true, and I strongly believe in that despite the feminine advantage, we are better together. They have found over 20-year studies on 6.6 million research teams that teams that had men and women working in harmony delivered better innovation results and were quoted and cited way more. Now, what's also worth mentioning is that this advantage can be taken away. See, your belief system, access to knowledge, access to information, your environment, and stereotypes can alter how the brain functions. Neuroplasticity is a double-edged sword. It can lift you up and create a life that you dreamed of, but it can take away and make your life miserable. So today, based on science, I am proposing a brand new stereotype. Female brains are built for leadership. And ladies, if you ever have that gut feeling that something is off, but all logic is saying everything is working, trust it. That's your parohippocampal gyri. If you ever weigh options and analyze things and go, I don't know, what is gonna be result in the future? That is your executive leadership. Don't let them push you and speed you up. And when you have a feeling that something is off and you feel the tension coming up, that is your anterior cingulate cortex giving you clues. And I have one last ask for those who can. Ladies, can you do me a favor? Yes? Can you please stand up? I want you to pull your shoulders back. I want you to put a big smile on your face. Take a deep breath. Raise your head high. And in this position, I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm saying. You are built to lead, and the science just proved it. Thank you.